Hey, Instagram people. So I wanted to come on here because I've really been struggling with deciding what kind of influencer, whatever you want to call it, I want to be, and where I want to place myself in this industry that is e-commerce and Amazon that I'm in, because I don't necessarily fit in the crowd. I'm not, I don't go with, I don't follow the flow of everyone else, and I'm different, and I have different goals. And anyway, as a coach, as a mom, as an Amazon seller, I go through, a lot of ups and downs as a human being. We all do. But if there's one thing that I've really, really noticed in the last year through my coaching, when you're a coach, no matter what industry you're in, you speak to, if you coach a lot, you speak to a lot of people. And in the last year, I probably have coached around 400 or something people. Sometimes it will just be a 1 hour call. Sometimes it'll be 3 months. It depends. And something that's become very, very noticeable to me is the amount of people that are really, really struggling with depression, anxiety, and just a whole bunch of mental illnesses. And I'm a happy person. I've been through a lot of shit in my life, a lot that you guys have nothing, you know nothing about. When a lot of people feel, because they've seen me on YouTube and things like that, they know me. And yes, I'm extremely relatable to a lot of you, and you may know a lot about me, but you don't know things that I don't want you to know, because I'm just not willing to share them with the world. I made it very clear to the people that follow me, to the world this year, that one of my main goals was to get pregnant. We're now in September 2021, and I'm still, not pregnant. I have multiple 7-figure businesses. I have the house. I have the amazing husband. I have a son, which took me years to make and bring into this world. I have a lot of things, and a lot of people, when they talk to me, they're like, yeah, but you have this, you have that. And I don't even show off. I don't even show off my house, my car, my things, because why? It's irrelevant. I'm not trying to inspire and motivate you by showing you what I have. I try and inspire and motivate you by being real and talking real talk. And I woke up this morning. It's I live in Israel. I'm Jewish. It's Yom Kippur tonight, which means that it's like a 24-hour fast where the whole of Israel stops for 24 hours. And it's a day that you don't really wake up in the morning and do stuff, but I had to go to my fertility doctor this morning. And he wasn't available in my city or the cities around me, so I had to drive to a city further away and be there at 8:45 in the morning, which means that I had to wake up really early and drive there, only for him to tell me that we're not going to be doing a treatment this month, which I've heard about 4 times this year. And it's a tough thing to go through, because as a woman, a lot of women, including me at times, you feel that, like, if there's one thing that your body's supposed to do, it's to bring a child into this world. And it can be very, very difficult when your body doesn't do that easily. And I remember that when I first was trying to get pregnant with my son, I would be jealous of women around me that were trying to get pregnant, that were pregnant or that had healthy, beautiful children, and how easy it came to them, and how hard it was for me. I mean, it took me years to bring my son, and I went through miscarriages before, and I just remember that dark place. But in the end, I got pregnant, and in the end, I have a beautiful and healthy son. And that's what I keep reminding myself now. I keep reminding myself that although it looks like shit right now, and it's tough, it's hormones, and it's things that if you haven't been through it, you can't understand it. It's what's the right wording for it? Exhausting. It's exhausting. It's test after test, procedure after procedure. A lot of seeing a negative test, negative results. It's tough not only on me, it's tough also on my husband, and it's just tough. basically. It's tough. But I have two choices, and I want you to watch this and take this for wherever you're at in your life. It could be that you're at, you're not able to find your product yet for Amazon. It could be that you're in a tough place with your partner. It could be that you're not figuring out PPC. It could be that you're trying to, whatever it is that you're doing. In the end, when you keep at it, things work out, and it's tough to hear that when you're like in this tough place, because you don't think anyone understands you and you're the only one going through what you're going through. But there are billions of people in this world in a way worse situation than you. Whenever I need like perspective, I just remind myself of all these people in the world going through these terrible things, and then I suddenly tell myself, and you're sitting here complaining about whatever it is you're complaining about. And I'm not saying that it's not okay to complain, and I'm not saying it's not okay for you to feel whatever it is that you may feel that you're going through, and you really are going through it. I just want you to know that you'll get through it. It may look terrible and horrible and dark, but you will get through it in the end. And I'll go back and say I've been through a lot in my life. And a lot of people like, she's, she makes a lot of money on Amazon. She's on YouTube. She's on a podcast. She does this. She does that. Today, you're like seeing my chapter, 32. I'm 33 years old this year. You're like almost in chapter 33. But what about when I first started? What about when, I lost my brother? What about when I lost my business? What about when I lost my baby? Like, what about those things? You weren't there because I wasn't here yet. And I wasn't sharing that journey yet. So I want to just remind you all, don't compare your chapter 1 or whatever chapter you are to somebody's chapter 30 or 40 or whatever it is. Because you don't know what they've been through to get to where they're at today. And social media today is mostly just about, well, not mostly, for a lot of people, about how they're networking and partying and, and all this stuff, which is really awesome. And it's great. And I'm not saying you shouldn't share that, but most people don't also share the shit. When I went through a really tough time, it was tough for me last year. I had an entire brand basically taken down on Amazon, and it happened on Prime Day. I went and I made sure that I made a video about it. I made a video once I'd gone through it, not while I was going through it. I made a video after I'd gone through it, once it had been fixed, because I was in a better mindset to make the video. But I did share it, and I think that it is important, and we have a responsibility to bring balance into social media. And that is something I try really hard to do. I try to make sure that there is a balance, between the good, there's a balance between the bad, the in-between. If you're an entrepreneur and you're doing really, really well, it's amazing, and it's important that you share that. But it's also important that you share the days that aren't so good, because, that's real life. Like, that's the truth. That's what being real really is, And I just wanted to come on here and say that if you're currently feeling whatever you're feeling, depressed, anxious, anxiety, jealous, wishing you had what somebody else had, or whatever it is that you're feeling, just remind yourself that if you're scrolling through social media every day and you're just going through and looking at what other people have that maybe you don't have, that may be really unhealthy for you. And maybe you need to switch your mindset and just remind yourself that you're in a different place right now, that what you're being shown isn't really real life. It's not exactly how that person's life is. It's what they're choosing to show you. And when it comes to business, I hope that most people start to share their stories when they show how good it is and how good that they're doing, when they have an experience to actually do it, and that they also share the downsides, so that when you do come across that, you're ready and prepared, because you know that it's not just all rainbows and unicorns, and not everything is just, handy dandy all day long, but there's also downsides, and and that's how life is. You take the good with the bad. There is no good without the bad. There's no bad without good. So as I was driving home today, after I woke up super early, got in the car, drove, parked, walked into my fertility doctor's clinic and got out of there after hearing that we're going to have to postpone everything this month and wait until next month. And I sat on the side of the car and I cried for about 30 minutes on the side of the road. Maybe I'm exaggerating. Sorry, probably like 10 minutes, but it felt like a lot longer. And it's okay that I did that. You know, if you know me, a lot of people think that I'm like this strong bitch, and I am really, really strong. It doesn't mean that I don't struggle, and it doesn't mean that I don't have my moments. And then, you know, I got home. I saw my husband, who gave me a hug. I saw my son. I hugged him, and I said, okay, like, you had your 10 minutes to cry. And if I would have needed longer, that would have also been okay. And if I would have needed the entire day to stay in bed and feel sorry for myself, that would have also been okay. But I was able to compose myself and say, it sucks, but there's all these amazing things that you do have, right? And it'll all be okay. And in the end, you'll be pregnant. In the end, you'll have this other baby that you're dying to bring into the world. And just take that to wherever you're at. If you're working on your Amazon business for, I don't know, a year, and you're still not where you want it to be, you'll be there in the end. Just keep going. Don't give up. You know, don't give up. Keep going. It's okay if you failed. It's okay if I didn't get pregnant this month. Even if I don't this year, it's okay, but keep trying. Keep moving forward always. Don't allow yourself to get into this position where you feel sorry for yourself and you're not able to get out of it. Surround yourself by supportive people, and just remember that, you know, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And just keep watering your own grass. Focus on you. And that's what I wanted to come on and say today. I don't really know what the point of this was. I just wanted to share and just remind you that it's all going to be okay and everything always works out.